How the heck are you guys? I am Fastidious. In this video, I will show you the absolute easiest way to complete the newest fusion in Raid Shadow Legends, the Fragment fusion for Ishiyama the Immovable. This will be featuring my new and amazing fusion tracker calendar tool, and this thing will make your life so easy. Raid and Polarium do a lot of work to make things not user-friendly and to make sure things are clunky and slow and cumbersome. I'm here to do the opposite. So with this calendar on my website, fastidious.gg/raid/calendar, you can track this live as you go, and it will adjust to your account and your progress, and it will stay saved. So here's the tool. It is super easy to use. I've done guides on it in the past for traditional fusions, classic fusions, and hybrid fusions. This is our first fragment fusion, and frankly, it's the easiest to show you. It's the easiest to do. So you will have a very smooth and relaxing time completing this. I am happy to help. A huge shout out to my web dev Archer who created this with me. We did a lot of work to make sure this launched as soon as the fusion calendar dropped last night. And in the future, always, this will be live within a couple hours max of a fusion calendar dropping. In the past, we were still setting up all the infrastructure, but now we have templates for traditional fusions, for hybrids, and for fragments. Before we hop right in and I show you the easiest way to get this done, not just using the tool, but also me showing you what you should do on each day and how to maximize your success, because this will not be a very hard fragment fusion for many people if you follow these tips. I do want to talk about the fusion character himself. So I did a big breakdown on this yesterday. I'll put the thumbnail there. I'm very proud of that video. I think it was probably my best Raid Shadow Legends video since I came back to the game a couple months ago. So definitely give it a look. But TLDR, I think for any account that is not yet late or endgame, this guy is an above average HP based nuker at worst. That is like the worst way you could describe him. So if you're early game, mid game, if you're still progressing at all through Raid Shadow Legends and you could use another nuker, and particularly an HP based nuker, pick this guy up. It will be an easy fusion. I see no reason not to do it. For people in the late and end game, it's really up to you. I think this will be an easy fusion, and it is especially easy, as are all fragment fusions, for late and endgame players, because you have a lot more resources, particularly in summoning currencies. You guys got a lot of shards, so these are not such a tall task. But if you don't want to go for it, he's certainly not an endgame quality DPS. That being said, keep in mind that A2 with the irresistible decreased crit damage, decreased crit rate, and fear, that could prove pretty valuable in content that might be coming. I'm thinking Faction Wars hard for Shadowkin. We'll have to see. But there you go, guys. That's my breakdown. I think the vast majority of players should be going for him, so let me tell you how to go for him. This is the tool up here. As you check these things off, and I'll show you how to do that, he'll fill up, and when he's at 100%, you know you've collected enough frags to hop into the game and go fuse yourself an Ishiyama. But to understand this, we've got to go over the colors in our legend here. So each one of the tournaments and events, as you can see, are this dark gray color. That's where we write the name, we write the dates, all that stuff. And then there's the button to collect your frags. They're all featuring a colored thing underneath. It's white here because white stands for not started. If we go to the legend, it will start off white. Once you click it once, it will be in progress. It switches to this orange color. Once you click it again, it goes green. That means you finished. At that time, make sure to click the fragment icon. I'll show you that in one moment. And then if it's this gray color, it means you clicked through it 3 times and you're deciding, I'm just going to skip that event. So, maybe you picked up some extra frags from a tournament. Maybe you decided, you know what, the summon rush ain't for me. You can just toggle through. It will gray it out. You're going to skip that event. Let's go back to not started though. How does it work? So right now, where I live, technically, it's still Monday, Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Felicidades to everyone who celebrates. But you notice here, it says Tuesday, May the 6th. All our dates are written in not American date format. Sorry, Americans, wrap your head around it. The majority of players, believe it or not, are not Americans. So I have chosen to write the dates as such. But the reason the days changed over is because the day is coded to UTC. So whatever your time zone is, you can adjust that accordingly. So I am UTC -6. So even though it's still Monday here, it's showing Tuesday on the calendar. In the future, we're looking into a way that this could sync to your local time, but we don't have that solution yet. So for now, just know it's UTC. You'll see that's the date. If you look at all these colors underneath, these correspond to whatever potion keep is open that day for ascending your heroes, farming up those potions. Not very relevant at all for a fragment fusion. but for classic traditional fusions and for hybrid fusions, it's very important. So we've left it as part of our template. Let's go into the tournaments and events now. You can see we break it down in these specific rows. So the top row, these will always be your dungeon tournaments, Dragon through Fire Knight for this fusion. You'll see the next row, you'll have your classic arena takedown, your classic arena tournaments. Then we will have our champ training festivities. So we have the champ training event and we have the champ training tournament. Then we have our summoning activities. We have the summon rush here and the champ chase. Finally, we have Dungeon Divers. These are the 3 that will be active during this event, during this fusion. And then we have our 3 gear enhancement. But we've always broken it up into these rows to make it really simple for you. Now it is Tuesday, May the 6th on the calendar, so we can turn all these events that are currently live to in progress. A single click toggled it as such. Once you finish the event, like right now I'm grinding through the Dragon tournament, for example, I can click it again, it will go to finished, and once I've switched it to green and it is finished, I can press this button right here and collect these 5 frags. When I do that, you will see there's a little line at the bottom here that moves up, and it says we are now 5% complete. Let's go to the champ training now. Let's toggle that to finished. I'll probably finish it in a day or 2. This still will last until Thursday, May the 8th, but you'll notice here there are 2 buttons to click. That's just to represent that currently this event, they break up the 10 available fragments into 2 different drops. They're different milestone rewards. So I can't know what these are until the relevant event or tournament is live in the game. But as soon as it is, I'll go to the back end and I will update it. So when I saw today, when I opened the game, that the 10 fragments are split into 2, I did the same thing. So instead of having 10 to claim, I made it 5 and 5. So you could claim the first 5. You can see the line moved up and we're up to 10%. Then I could claim the next. You can see we're growing a little higher. We're up to 15. This is pretty relevant because sometimes you might not claim all of them and you need to stay on top of that. If we made it so you just finished and claimed all the available ones, it could be an incomplete picture of the reality and throw off your fusion because maybe you only got half the rewards. And you need to know that as you're scrambling potentially towards the end of the fusion. Let's talk about the third state you can put one of these things into. So there's not started, there's in progress, finished. There's one more, and that is skipped. Let's say I don't like doing the gear enhancement. I don't want to do this first artifact enhancement event. Maybe you were going hard on the last artifact enhancement we had, and you know you're going to do a lot of summon rush and a lot of champ chase. You're looking forward to that. You can toggle it once to in progress, then to finished, then to skipped, and now you know you're skipping that altogether. So this is just a really good, clean, easy way to track your progress. Final thing I want to talk about, you'll notice these little purple icons. If we go to the legend, that purple icon signifies those fragments are only available through a tournament winner reward, and there are 2 tournaments in this fusion where you can win extra fragments. There's the champ training tournament on May the 11th and the champ chase on May the 16th. You can see right now it's split up in a specific way. This is just me guessing how they'll divide the fragments. So I'm assuming the champ training with the milestones, there'll be 1 tier with 5 fragments, 1 tier with another. Those are the 10 fragments that are available to everyone. And then we've split up the tournament rewards into 2 different things. That's because if you win, you get 10 fragments. If you get second place, you get 5. So you need to be able to click all of that. In the future, we're going to have this as a 10 with a gold trophy and a 5 with a silver trophy, so you know what to click. But for now, we're going to leave it as that. Probably, though, this will be updated and looking even better within the next 2 to 3 days. We'll get those gold and silver trophies. You might notice over here with the champ chase, it's not fitting nicely. That's just because we had to do this quick little workaround by splitting the trophies up like that with our little purple icon. But don't worry, within just 2 to 3 days, this will be perfect. So once you are on my website and you make an account, you can link it to your Twitch, your Discord, or just a throwaway email. It doesn't matter. We don't get any of your information. Every time you go in here and you update your progress, even if you leave that page, even if you go here and, we go to a new window, it will remember where you were. So you just click on Raid, you go to Fusion Planner Calendar, and there I am. However, to talk about how you can actually dominate this fusion, let's reset the progress and get a clear picture of how easily you could potentially do this. So for me, I'm always hoping to complete these fusions with as little summoning as possible. So first thing I want to do, let's toggle every non-summoning event to finished and start claiming these fragments. All right, so there you go. I have fast forward to the future as if I've completed every single event and tournament that was not the summon rush or the champ chase. I've done no summoning. I just want to give you guys a picture. I've claimed all these fragments. I have not claimed the tournament reward winner fragments because I can't assume we're going to win those. And you'll see he's been lighting himself up. The picture's starting to glow. We're at 80% full. You can see we still need 20 fragments and 50 remain. But keep in mind, of those 50, 20 of them are tournament rewards. So we know there's 30 left. So right off the bat, we know there's 110 total fragments available in this fusion, not counting the additional 20 you can get by placing first. And you will see that means you can leave 10 on the table. So you will need 20 of the 30 available combined from the Summon Rush and the Champ Chase, but it's pretty cool to know you can leave 10 on the table. So what you can really do is plan to max out one of them. They both have 15 normal fragments available, 5 and 10 over here. That's how I assume they're going to break up the Champ Chase. And then 5, 5, 5 for the Summon Rush. We'll have to see that breakup. But the key thing is if you get all 15 from one, you only need 5 from the other. And without a doubt, that first milestone tier reward that has fragments will give you just 5. So I think the cleanest way to approach this fusion is to do everything except summoning, and then when it comes to the summoning, plan to max out the Champ Chase, get these 15, and then when the Summon Rush opens this weekend, just get 5. We'll see if there's some crazy event. Maybe you want to do the inverse of that, but personally, I find the Champ Chase is much easier, and it's definitely worth mentioning, we were just handed 500 free Champ Chase points. So we just had that Community Weeks event, whatever the heck that was, featuring Udex Artor, and we all got him just by logging in, and that is a free legendary hero, right? That's 500 points. So the Champ Chase should be as easy as ever. I've got a Huntress and a Bloodhorn waiting. Those are 50 points each as a Void Rare. And then from there, I've got the other components I need for Broadmaw, so I could head over here. That should be another 350 points. I think a lot of people, if you're used to playing Raid, or you're just not summoning stuff immediately when you finish a fragment fusion, or you have some fragments saved up and you can do a summon, I think a lot of us are sitting on some amount of points. So for that reason, I just think it's a really easy thing to accomplish. And it is worth mentioning the last fusion we had for Lysanthier Beastbane, this hybrid fusion, did not feature a Champ Chase. So a lot of people might be sitting on those even more than they normally would be. They might have a lot more fragment things to pull for this upcoming Champ Chase. It's also worth mentioning, a lot of people just skipped Lysanthier altogether. So unless you went really hard in the Champ Chase for the Udex Artor 5-star Split Soul, I don't think a lot of people did that, you should be sitting pretty. So that's why I'm saying this should be such an easy fusion. Just in general, frag fusions are easier. You don't have to be stockpiling Ascension Potions. You don't have to take food and level it up and put a bunch of energy into that. It's pretty straightforward, and I really think we can all dominate this. If we want to take it one step further, I got 2 other strategies for you. Yes, this is going to take luck getting in the right group. You certainly cannot count on maxing out this Champ Chase tournament. But let's click these fragments off. So let's say you did the bare minimum. You did just the 5 that we should all be counting on for the Summon Rush. You're at 85%. Now, if you were able to get first or second place, you can set yourself up in a pretty strong way with this champ training tournament. If you were able to take first, now you're only 5% away. You only need 5 more frags. You can just take that lowest milestone here from the Champ Chase, and congrats. Ishiyama, the immovable, is yours. However, it is worth noting if you only get second place, so you just get 5, you're at 90%. If they do break up the milestone rewards like this in the Champ Chase, it could go 5-5-5, but I think likely it will be 5-10. And we won't know till we reach that point. You're probably going to have to get the whole thing. You're looking at 105 total fragments collected. That means you've got 5 frags towards mod. If you're in some crazy position and you can guarantee that you're going to be able to win this champ training tournament, or at the very least get second place, then you can pretty confidently skip the Summon Rush, and look at that. You're still at exactly 100% completed. So there's a lot of ways to approach this. The final strategy I wanted to shout out, a few viewers have mentioned this in my comments. Plarium likes to sell fragments at the end of a fragment fusion. So if you're new to Raid or you haven't done a fragment fusion recently, if you're a spender at all, it can be a really good value. If you get the right offer, and that is a big if, it can be a very strong value. Typically, they sell frags for $2 per frag, but they'll sell them in little bundles. But imagine you made it to the end of the event with 90 fragments. You could probably buy the last 10 fragments for $20. That is a lot cheaper than buying the summoning currency if you didn't have it to finish the champ chase, right? So that is a really affordable way to do it if you're a spender. Yeah, I know it feels a little scummy, but that's definitely something to keep in mind. And personally, I am going to keep it in mind, especially if those first 5 frags in the summon rush somehow prove to be difficult, because you never know with these guys, right? The final thing, it's very possible and very likely you could get the last 20 frags and skip summoning altogether, probably for $40. There are 80 frags available in this fusion if you don't count either summoning event and you do not count placing first or second in either of the tournaments with winner frags. In that case, you've got 80, you only need 20. You could basically count on pretty easily finishing this fusion for $40. To some people, that sounds disgusting. To others, that's pretty appealing. I just wanted to explain the idea because I think it could help a couple people, and maybe it will save you from blowing a bunch of sacreds on a bad weekend to do it. We'll have to see. Anyway, guys, as you can tell, I am pretty dang excited for Ishiyama. I think this guy's going to be a lot of fun. I don't have any HP nukers on my account, so I can't wait to get a hold of him. And I'm going to keep all those strategies in mind. Like, hopefully I can win the champ training tournament and just save a bunch of summons, skip the champ chase almost altogether. Maybe I'll buy a couple frags at the end if it's reasonable. And ideally, I'd like to be going in with a lot of stuff saved, a full head of steam, in a really comfy position to grab a 5-star soul for him. Because that really takes him from being a pretty good nuker to actually a pretty damn good nuker, unless you have like an endgame account with Taurus and Narcissus or whatever. Guys, if you're just starting raid or you want to start a new account, my link is the best link in the land. You will find it in the description and the top pinned comment. You get the legendary champion Elinarl at download. The second you are done with the first 3 minutes of the tutorial, she'll be waiting here in your inbox. At level 10, you get Tagoar, the biggest epic carry on my entire account. Level 20, you get the fantastic Tayrel, and level 30, you get the boss slayer Fayne. It's really the best way you could start this. Holy crap, my dog is bothering me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Share with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.